Hi, I'm Tammy Jo, and here in my small Kentucky town, I'm aspiring toward my life's mission to become healthier and happier while helping others to do the same. I meet in various places to teach yoga classes, working with other small businesses in the area. I'm always trying to learn new, old ways of restoring health and wellness, and I invite you to join me on the journey as I try to slow down and improve one day at a time. Okay, so I've been painting and I have my yucky clothes on, but I'm going to go out into my garden, which is behind me there somewhere, and I'm going to start clipping off things that are growing. And I have my dehydrator set up in the house, and my plan is just to put things that can be made into tea, like the lily petals or lavender, and any of the herbs that are kind of growing here on my porch. I'm going to clip them off, which will hopefully create new growth, and then that way I'll get in a habit of saving things. And that's something I've struggled with before. I get all excited about planting out the garden and putting things in the garden beds, and then I don't do a lot with it, which is ridiculous. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. So go with me. I'm going to start out with a cute basket and some clippers just to get myself motivated, and we'll see what we can forage, scavenge, collect. Right, here I am in my garden, and there's not a ton of stuff that's growing like a lot just yet. It's really just getting started. It's almost June. We're right at the end of May right now. And these daylilies are looking beautiful, but I've decided that if they don't have the full number of petals on them, I'm going to pluck the rest of the petals on that particular flower and harvest them that way. That way I've got some blooming and some I'm taking petals from. I did make a cup of hot tea with this one petal this week. I tore it up, put it in a little basket in my cup, and poured hot water over it, and it was actually really quite good. So I want to do some of that. And I saw on the internet where you can collect the pods before they open up. Someone deep fried them, like battered them and then put them in oil to deep fry, and they said that they were really good. So I may try that too. I don't know if I'm brave enough yet, but I can at least get the petals for now. We'll harvest some things that are growing well here. So I have another corner bin just like this one. This is an L shape at the other side of the garden, and both of them have right in the corner a big bush of this, which is lemon balm. So I'm going to take some sprigs. I think I'll leave it on the sprigs for now, and I'll put those in my dehydrator. It's up here. And it'll probably be best if I take some from both of the plants. Not only will it make my garden look nice and symmetrical, but it'll also be good for both of them to be trimmed back just a little. Now I need to look into what to use lemon balm for. I have the Lost Apothecary Remedies book that's so popular on Facebook right now, and I believe it's mentioned in a few different things in there. So I'm going to look into it. I'm sure it would make a delicious tea, but there may be some other medicinal properties and uses of it. The next section, that is mint, and it is taking over all things. So I'm going to harvest a little mint. You know, I've never enjoyed the taste of mint. It seems like it should just be a part of toothpaste or nothing else. But I'm really hoping to change that since I have so much here. But mint is supposed to keep wasps and bees away. It's supposed to deter them at least. And my husband was saying the other day that he really hasn't seen as many around the house as used to be. So we're hoping this large quantity of mint growing out here is helping with that. Okay, so it's a couple of days later after I put things into the dehydrator from the garden, and I have run it quite a few hours overnight, during the day while I was at work, things like that. And it's actually been turned off for a little bit, and that is to let it cool down after it's been generating heat for so long, and let the herbs to cool so that there's no heat going into the jars when I pack them away, and then they won't have any condensation form in there. So I've got some jars here, and I've started out with my little lids ready to go. I've got the names of all 5 of the different things in here. So I'm just going to take them out, see how they've done, package them in my jars for storage. I'm in our little home studio slash whatever room. By studio, I mean yoga studio. I've pulled one of our bouncy balls over here to sit on while I work on this. This one is the daylily. It can be used for tea, and I have had it in tea just this week. It was a hot tea, and it was good. It was very lightly floral. And I am doing research on all of these things to make certain that what I'm trying out is edible. I've been doing that before planting any of it. So hopefully my research is good. All right, daylily. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going and get things packed away here. So the mint and the lemon balm are deceptively similar in their looks. And I don't know if you can see. This one, I believe, is the lemon balm. It has a rounder kind of leaf and is more solidly green on both sides. This one looks to be the mint. It's more pointed in the leaf and has kind of a white look to the underside of it. So that is how I'm telling those 2 apart. I believe now that it's dry, I am going to remove them from the stems in order to store them better. Plus, I won't really need the stems of the lemon balm and the mint for any of the things that I'm going to be making with them, such as tea or putting them in a recipe or anything like that. Yeah, I may find later on that it'll be easier to not put the stems in for the drying process, but it just seemed easy this time. This is going to take a little while, so I'll check in with you when this part's done. Okay, I'm back. And I have all of the different herbs that I dried jarred up. I did opt to go with a bigger jar for both mint and lemon balm because they were taking up the full jar. So there's that. Now I'm going to start another load in the dehydrator, and what I have here are peony flowers. I know that there are a lot of different ways to pronounce that. My grandma and my mom, they had kind of their own accent here in Kentucky. It's a little different from everyone else in our area. And they would pronounce words in unusual ways sometimes. And this was one of them. They called these pineys. But I've also heard peonies and peonies. So I'm going to try to go with peonies. Anyway, I found out that you can eat these in salad or in just different kinds of prepared methods. And also they make a good tea. So I harvested all I could today because they bloom for just a short while and then they just kind of go away. So that's why I've got so many, but I'm going to get them in the dehydrator and store those up, and we'll see how they turn out. They are still pretty wet because I have rinsed them well. And I did have them laying out, but they were kind of piled up and didn't have a chance to dry. But they're going to be the only thing in the dehydrator for a while. So I have the opportunity to spread them out pretty thinly. I think I said in one of my last videos, or maybe earlier in this video, I'm not sure, but I had said that I really enjoy planning out my garden. Last year I did things that could all be either a beautiful flower to enjoy the looks of, or something that could be an herbal tea. That was my entire garden, my whole planting, and with the added benefit of choosing perennials. That way my herbal teas would come back every year. Not everything came back this past year. Of course, when Mom passed away, I just didn't feel up to overwintering anything like I should have. So I had a couple of beautiful hibiscus plants, which also make a good tea. I'm liking the tea. But anyway, those are a tropical plant, not really right for our zone, especially in the cold months. And since I didn't put anything away, they didn't make it. I didn't pot them and bring them in, and that's okay. All right, I'm not going to add that to this because it has fallen in the floor. And this one doesn't look very good. It's got kind of a gross brown spot on it. But other than that, pretty much everything else came back, but I had some spots where I needed to fill in some things. And since I'm learning more about herbs and stuff like that, that's what I've been doing. Back to what I was saying, I have a lot of fun planning out the garden, planning what I want in it, making it make sense to me. And then I love watching it grow. Don't enjoy the whole watering all the time process, but I'm getting to where I like it better. But then I just wasn't using the stuff it produced. There were all of these herbs and like these flowers. I never thought to pick these to do anything with before. I just enjoyed them while they were in the bloom season, which is very brief for peonies. And that was it. So now I'm really trying to learn more about what I have growing, what I have access to, because there's food right in my landscape and my backyard. So we'll get this started. This is an Excalibur food dehydrator, by the way. We've had it for several years and it has worked well for us. I enjoy it a lot. It has directions on top for the type of food that you are dehydrating. And so I've been going with herbs because that's what I've been putting in there. And it says to set it at 95 degrees. So that's what I've got. We did get the model of this with the timer, but it really doesn't serve a whole lot of purpose. And reviews said that before we bought it, but I was like, I want a timer. I want to know how long to set it for. So really, I just put it on a whole lot of hours. Check it every little bit whenever I pass by this room or something to see how things are going. Because of the moisture content in these petals, I think it'll take a lot of hours. Right now, I have it set on 24. But I won't wait the whole 24 before checking again. So anyway, we'll see how this goes and I will give you updates. All right, now that we have our dehydrated peony flowers, I am going to show you how I go about making some tea with the herbal flowers. So I've got my hot water, my teacup, and I just use these little baskets. I've got a couple of these. I just rinsed it out because I had some oolong earlier. Very delicious. But I've got that there. So we'll just take kind of a pinch. You can see what they look like and how they sound now that they've been dehydrated. Pinch of those goes right into our basket. It's a small cup, so I'm not going to put too many in. And I'm not going to leave the dehydrated stuff uncovered for very long. We don't want moisture getting in there. And just gently pour some of our hot water over the petals. Enough to where they float in there. And And I'll just let that steep for probably 3 to 5 minutes. And then I'll enjoy it. You can see it's already changing the color down there. So it's pretty simple. I've had this before, so I know it's going to be delicious. It's very floral. Maybe you'll give it a try sometime.